Jeffrey D Sachs is the president of the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network and director of the Center for Sustainable Development at Columbia University. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Sachs. Talk to us about the roles of American defense manufacturers and what kind of influence do they have on the US's internal politics and foreign policies?
Basically, the military-industrial complex runs American foreign policy. The idea of American foreign policy is to have political, financial, and military dominance over as much of the world as is possible. And this goes back to the end of World War II, when Britain the British Empire ended and the American Empire, in effect, began. I think the baton was passed to the American Empire, and in 1947, a key year for India, for other parts of the world, that was also the year that the CIA was established and the National Security Act. And the U.S. foreign policy became a foreign policy of manipulation of other governments and the placement of military bases in foreign countries all over the world. So today, the budget of the military-industrial complex is somewhere between $1 trillion and $1.5 trillion a year. There are around 800 overseas U.S. military bases. The annual contracts of the major arms producers like Northrop Grumman or General Dynamics or Raytheon or Boeing or others is hundreds of billions of dollars a year. War is big business. America's involved in lots of wars. And foreign policy is not really a subject in which the American people are asked their view. It's dominated by small groups, the White House, the CIA, the State Department, the major arms producers, and the armed services committees of the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives. And I think all of this is extraordinarily detrimental to global stability.
Mr. Sachs, from Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya, Ukraine, and more recently Gaza, has the U.S. military campaigns through the last 20-odd years constantly failed to bear the desired outcome?
It doesn't. We live in a web of lies and obfuscations. So, and very short attention span. We went to war in Iraq in 2003, ostensibly to end Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction. If you had a modest amount of talent listening to U.S. government propaganda in the lead up to that war, you could pretty much know that it's baloney. And yet, it was taken very seriously because Colin Powell went to the United Nations Security Council and talked about the threat to the peace of these weapons of mass destruction, which didn't exist. Disastrous war, very costly, horrible for American foreign policy till this very day, destabilizing the region. Nobody ever talks about it again in officialdom because the American people are just supposed to go along. And the same reporters, these miserable, ignorant reporters, as far as I'm concerned, that propounded the war in 2003, they propounded every war since then. And they're so gung-ho on Ukraine, and they're so gung-ho on Gaza. Now they want to attack Iran. It's the same ones. If we had a checklist, you'd see, we play American baseball, of course, so we have a batting average. I don't know how it would be in cricket or other scores, but these guys have almost a zero batting average, and yet they stay as the main columnists in the American media.
Mr. Jeffrey D Sachs, thank you very much for talking to WION World as One today.